Hello once again, my friends, and welcome back once more. I'm Hambbage, and we're going to play some hardcore vanilla Minecraft. Thanks so much for dropping by. If you're coming on back, I hope the enjoyment continues, and if anybody's new, thanks for swinging by. Say hi, and you're in the chat there. Let me know if you enjoy the content or if you've ever played any hardcore vanilla Minecraft yourself. But we need to get to business. Enough of this chit-chat. Getting started. We'll have plenty of time to chit chat. Although, man, we got to get the hamster running in the treadmill today. Um, for anybody who is returning, having watched the previous episode, what 78, 178 or something like that. We kind of had a palm slapping oops. Palm slapping on our forehead oops. So I'm left to try to decide, do we just dive in and try to make a working space out of the ones as is, or do we go back to base and kind of prepare a little bit? And I kind of think, and I really haven't given this much consideration at all after the end of the last episode, which was a pretty good break ago. I played like sometime mid-afternoon yesterday, mid-afternoon into evening. And I'm actually to about that same time again today, unexpectedly. You ever have those days where you just think, like, okay, my day's going to go about like this, and then everything just gets turned on its head a little bit? Well, it's been a bit of my day. I got up early because today is a crock pot cooking day, and anybody who's watched any or has made the association to my name understands that for me, crockpot is kind of the culmination of slow intermixing of flavors and consistencies and making just look at them all. Don't get. Oh, I thought he was a big one. Now you guys are gonna break my boat. I got all these guys down here. Gotta get these buttons done too. Do we sidetrack and go to the buttons while we're getting equipment? Maybe. To do that, we need to just take a left. Or maybe go straight. I think the nearest Crimson Forest is left at the junction. Can't even get to him yet. It'd be kind of cool if he like couldn't get traction on there when you knock him back and then he tries to jump. If he like just kind of like slid away. I mean, we don't have good traction. See there, it kind of seemed like he slides a little bit. Whoa. Am I getting hit from behind? What just hit me? Who knows? What I do know is this is just crazy. Alright, well. Losing all the speed bonus of our... Oh, you know, we have a Crimson Forest, like, right above us, don't we? Around the fortress? Isn't that why we didn't use that for our Wither Skelly farm? It's been a long time. I think a lot of folks kind of lose sight of that. We'll actually just go in, drop some stuff off, kind of get what gear we need. But I think let's get buttons. We've been talking about that for a while. While we're doing that, I'm going to kind of be thinking about how I want to set up those platforms over in the overworld for when we do pull in our ghasts, how we want those to look. We're in a kind of good biome for it, I think. All right, let's get you and you set down. That can go in. I think that fence was intended for... We were just kind of so... Sorry, even that is disjointed. We were so kind of flustered at the end, realizing that we had that big goof. I just kind of grabbed everything and was like, we're going to fix it. No, we're not going to fix it. We're going to go. And I stand by that decision. It's sometimes best to just reset a bit, get your bearings back, and get squared away. And I'm glad we did that. I think we'll be better served for it. But as a result of having unexpectedly spent more time, those are both just netherrack. That looks like a hybrid. These are all empty. This is something. This is the beacon supplies. This is stuff. I guess we should. It's alright. I got time here. And at some point here, I'm going to get to the whole ever have your day planned out and then find out, no, you were totally wrong. Well, that's been my day. A little bit. Not crazy. But it's definitely unfolded on its own timeline, so to speak. I just want to get rid of this dumb boat. Let's go put the obsidian in the obsidian box. We're going to need it, but we got to prepare here a bit. And let's put these torches. Well, let's put all the torches away. It's just extra spots. Not going to go dark down here. Okay. So I don't know that I want to, whatever those platforms become, I don't know that I want to use netherrack for them in the sky above an ocean biome with some islands under them. That seems horrible. But, that could become a, in lieu of, or in light of some of the mega base building that I'd mentioned, I've seen going on in various streams, that could be a crazy footprint for some kind of a build. Not saying that we got a lot of stuff on our plate already, but having 4 spaced out portals in the overworld that would be, proportionately further away but connected in, a pattern. If you could tie all those together, that'd be pretty cool, I think. All right, let's get all this random stuff. Oh, maybe this was our... Let's leave the stone stairs. I don't know that I want to use stone, but... Some stairs around some portals wouldn't be the worst thing. Okay, blackstone. Basalt. Random... I don't know. Random netherrack. Glowstone from that far end. Some more of these guys. Those 2 go in the box, and the gunpowder goes away. Then what we got? Some more basalt and some more netherrack, and then we're done. Let's do away. What did I just... Oh, I didn't look at the box I was trying to put them into. Oh, I thought we finished all the random stuff. Any more yeah, you got random stuff. Alright, so let's combine... Where was the stairs box? Stairs can go into... What was the random, rail supply box? few less to have to try to figure out. Okay, back over. Done with the lava slimes. Now, what did we end up with? Tool health. We've got... This is our third pick, I think, so we're kind of low. Something else to keep in mind. Maybe we go do the cows again while we're here. Cows and chickens. Just get a feeding in. I don't even know where they're at. We're going to finish this, though. And this is going to turn into a whole wasted episode, isn't it? Not wasted, but not pulling a gas through. Well, that's all right. Like I said, I've got some time this evening. What I had intended, as I said, this is a crockpot day. I had shopped for it in the middle of the week because they said it was going to be cool and kind of rainy through the weekend. And when it's hot, you don't want a crockpot just throwing heat into your living space the whole time. That's so opposite of what you want to do. But I love grilling. Don't get me wrong. It's a great treat of living in Colorado to be able to grill pretty much year round without any thought. It's just a style of cooking that you're gonna do because it's convenient and quick, and you don't mess up your kitchen as much, and it's healthy. So I love it, but growing up in the Midwest, we had long winter brutal winters, and I grew up in I was born in the 70s and grew up in the 80s and 90s, and we had a pretty rare thing in that we had a gas line out to our grill from as early as I can remember. We never had a charcoal grill. We never had to deal with propane tanks, anything like that. We just had the grill, and it was on a pipe stand kind of thing, and the gas line that served the house went right on up to the grill as well. And that would help. That was a pretty good deal. Okay, that's supplies. So these two are in rough shape. Anything else in rough shape? Fortune cookies, fine. I don't think we have enough here to really bother with it. And there's just whatever. We can take that up and cook it if we wanted to, but we need a lot more gold than just that. Not to try to sound too greedy, but we're not playing small potatoes anymore. Okay, all those things can go away. Wow. Yeah, we should go do, because we've chewed up that food too. All right, let's get these in hand. This will still be our supply box eventually. Oof. Undo our messes. All right, we're gonna shake the rust off here. So yeah, I'm slow cooking, and I'm doing a kind of modification. They always change a little bit for me. I'm not like I make recipes. I'd like jot down notes on everything that I cook, particularly in the hopes that it's going to turn out good and I can come back to it. So S'more, you're the representative of the animals at this point. I don't think we're going to make the whole tour around to see everybody, but we'll see you. But I have some base ingredients and some. I don't think I need 2 stacks now, but whenever I think I don't, I come up short. I'll just grab them and put them back. If you're gonna have to put back a half stack anyway, might as well have a spare there. So yeah, I kind of have a few base ideas, and then just tweak them with what's in season, what's available, what I've got on hand, that kind of stuff. And I've said before in my recordings, I'm a huge, huge fan of green chili. And, some people might be inclined to think that that's a pepper. Other people may think that that's spelled with an I. I'll be a little bit correct. Now, in Colorado, we are blessed to have wonderful neighbors to the south in the state of New Mexico. And New Mexico happens to be the green chili growing capital of the world. Whatever. I grew up in the Midwest. There's plenty of capitals of the world of stuff you'd never even imagine. But yeah, Hatch, New Mexico, for those of you folks that have heard of Hatch green chilies, it's a town in New Mexico, and it was in that area that they really concentrated. The conditions were right or whatever, and they would just have these huge crops of green chilies. So, being smart people, they kind of grew those exclusively, and oh no, left themselves set up for a long future of demand for their primary crop. And having so many in the fall, and I've talked about all this before. I don't mean to, huge green chili talk, but in the fall here, and I would imagine in other major metropolitan areas, kind of accessible from New Mexico, there will be chili roasting stands. And I said, I sold fresh sweet corn when it was kind of my summer college and end of high school type job, and so I'm familiar with that whole kind of scene and mentality. Well, here we don't have ideal corn growing where I live on the eastern edge of the Rocky Mountains. There is a little area on the western side of the state where they do grow sweet corn, and that's where all the grocery stores provide their local sweet corn from, quotes, because yeah, it gets, you can do a lot of fudging when it comes to some of that kind of stuff, I know, but yeah, by and large, there's just enough acreage here in the state probably to supply the some of the demand for just summer corn on the cob needs. No wider production of sweet corn like I grew up with. But anyway, here in the summers, you drive down 5 blocks in any major street, and you're gonna see stands up with big, they look like the bingo hoppers back in the day, where it's this big cylindrical drum kind of thing, but it's all mesh metal, and it's over, what amounts to a big grill. It's basically just some blowtorchy looking flames, and it just spins and keeps the peppers tumbling over the flames so they never sit and burn. And, about 10, 15 minutes after you've walked up and said, hey, I want this many, you walk out with like a plastic garbage bag full of hot, sweating, just roasted green chili peppers. And they're awesome. So, it's been a long tradition between me and a couple of my buddies. Some lucky designee has to have their kitchen taken over for the day. But, it takes about a full day. You got to clean and peel the peppers, remove the skins. That's really the point of roasting. You make the inside expand and sweat, and the outside kind of shrivels, and then as they cool and contract a little bit, those skins will peel mostly right off. Um, so that's pretty time-consuming work, but once a year, it just kind of becomes a tradition. It's like putting up all your Christmas decorations or something for, those of us that celebrate Christmas. It's a lot of work to get all the back boxes or bags or whatever out of the attic or the basement or the closet or the into the garage or wherever you store them. Hang the lights outside, put up whether you buy a real tree or put up the artificial one, but you got the boxes of ornaments you got to find and the lights you got to test and all that. Lots of work, but it's worth it. It makes the season come alive, and we do that with the knowledge that we're gonna have a fun time while we do it. It's not too demanding work, and it's usually timed around away games for our various sports teams and stuff like that, and can just have some games up on TV and play some tunes. And once you get the peppers peeled, those one of our buddies is a big barbecue guy, so he's already smoked a pork shoulder butt overnight. So that goes into the pot, and make a roux, and that goes in. All the key ingredients to making a good green chili. But in those, it's the pork and the peppers that are the stars of the show. They make up the bulk of the volume. And, I mean, you think you got it's usually you get like a bushel. I think. I don't know. We're about as far from having done it as I've been. But yeah, you got a bunch of cut and processed chili peppers, and you've got a full pork shoulder butt that's been pulled. So that's a lot of volume right there. And then you do some onions and some garlic and some hot peppers and spices and seasonings and all the rest of it. But it's pretty much a meaty, peppery mixture. Well, I'm doing a modified stand-in of that, which is more just a few meals, but it's really lentils with chicken and peppers. But it evokes that, as you can tell, it evokes those memories and those same kind of flavors and scents and things. So I was cooking a bag of dried lentils in the crock pot, and earlier I'd gone to the store earlier, like a week ago, and gotten a family pack of frozen big fat chicken breasts, and I'd sliced some in half, kind of almost like if you think like a fish fillet, I'd kind of filleted them, right? You cut them down their length, but splitting the width of it, not cutting them into more of a strip. So those would be good for grilling, and the rest I just kind of cubed up big chunks of chicken. How did you get in? And if you got in, that seems like a big cheat. How did he get in? Can you show me how he got in? Okay, let's deal with this and then get to sleep, maybe? Because, yuck. There I went, talking too much about green chili and stuff. So yeah, I've got this concoction, which I had to start at about 7 to really get the lentils cooked down. And they're really overcooked. You wouldn't need to normally cook them this long for a traditional lentil dish. But as I've kind of evolved this, I'm like, yeah, it's nice to have them cooked down where they're kind of really more of a thickening, and then you have all these chunks of chili peppers, and not the the chili, but the green chilies. So they've got a little spice to them. They're not just a green bell pepper, but they're not unbearable. I could, for the most part, just sit and eat one, even of the hot variety, and they do have a range too. So they're not, make you sweat type. Although they can build some heat, certainly, especially in the actual green chili when you're using a lot of hot, and that's making up so much of the volume of what you're cooking. Then you can definitely get good sweat going, and we still put in a little bit of like a little bit of jalapeno relative. The ratio is just tiny, or some kind of a hot pepper, depending on what looks good and is around, just to give it more of an upfront spice. Because traditional green chili, when done as I described it, without a whole lot of other heat, either through seasoning, like ground pepper kind of from your spice rack, or other peppers. Don't knock me into the plants, alright? Oh, now what? Listen. Where are these guys coming from? No! I knew that was going to happen. We got to get out of here. Come on. How are things getting into my farms? There's a lot of spiders. Now we won't be. Well, yeah, we can't sleep there. We should be able to sleep down here if we can get off the ladder. Hi, doggies. All right. So yeah, not a lot of hot upfront heat, but so you don't bite in and go, oh wow, spicy. But you may have had like 4 or 5 spoonfuls, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, what is happening to me now? Right? It's that kind of slow build, kind of at the back of your tongue and your mouth that slowly increases the heat. But for these, the lentils kind of balance that out a lot more, and you're really just making a ready meal. I'll portion it up, freeze some, and have some in the fridge ready to go. But for this, yeah, the lentils make up a lot of bulk, and then you get cubed chicken, and then I add. There's a line. I meant to see it because I figured I'd talk about it a little bit. They're in my grocery frozen food section, kind of down by like the bulk like snack frozen items, like the big bags of pizza rolls and corn dogs and all that kind of stuff. Tucked in there for whatever reason are these like 2 little rows of quart-sized containers, maybe they're pints, but of chopped frozen green chilies. So those can just go in, and even when I pull those down to defrost them, they still go in a little a little bit like a big cube of frozen pepper. But in a crock pot, they cook down a little bit, and then I added in 2 diced onions, and not diced, big chunk chops, so you can get a piece of onion in there. They'll be soft and kind of like melt in your mouth. And 2 jalapenos, and again, crock pot size, so there's a much bigger ratio. And I think that's going to have plenty of heat to the mixture here. I know that the peppers are pretty potent because about an hour after I'd finished, I was working along and thinking, all right, this is about the time, and this is part of the timing issue that my day has run into. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, all right, yeah, it's about to stream, and I'd already gotten delayed. So I'd started at about 7. I then went outside and enjoyed kind of my morning, and it was cool, and the sidewalks and stuff, nothing was still soaked, but it rained most of the night, it was raining hard and had been for hours when I went to bed. So nothing was still like soaked deep puddles, but there were wet spots on all the paths and everything. Oh, so great. So great when you're not in the midst of that kind of weather to get a taste of it. And today was promising to be the same. So I got out, enjoyed the cool, stretched my legs a little bit, and got a bit of a walk in. And then I came back and was having some breakfast and watching some streams. And I was kind of like, all right, well, this is gonna go. But in the process of, you don't want to put all your fresh ingredients in with the lentils and the chicken. And the chicken, I even cheat. I put it in earlier, so it'll probably be a little more overcooked than some people would like it. But it had been frozen, and I didn't want to risk any kind of issue. So, undercooked chicken type issue, if you know what I mean. So I just kind of let it go. For the whole time after I'd gotten the lentils rinsed and in the liquid, just one of the chicken broth kind of containery things, and maybe 2 times that in water, so to get it started. So I'd done all that. It cooked for a number of hours, and I'd been out, I'd walked, I'd had breakfast, I'd watched some streaming. About noon my time, and I came back. Or no, it was before that, because I was going to do all the chopping and stuff to add at about that point. Um, and I came back and was like, oh well, I need to hand wash a bunch of knives and cutting boards and stuff like that I don't normally put in the dishwasher. And I had a couple pans and things ready to go that it's like, I don't do hand dishwashing every single day because I don't use them that much, and I have plenty. So, hey, if you're gonna fill up a sink with soapy water and all that, might as well get. Oh, those were the seeds, right? Well, it all makes sense now. Um, so I did all that. Did all that prep work stuff, and as I was doing it, I'd washed dishes and I'd started the dishwasher, and it was running, and I was like, oh well, I can't stream yet, and so I think switched over and I was watching some YouTube while I was just playing a game, and I had probably been playing for like an hour and a half or so, and I'd kind of been listening, and I was like, okay, yeah, I think the dishwasher cycle is done. For me, it has a long, like, supposed drying cycle where I don't know how much it really dries, but it sits quietly before it's done, so you don't get any kind of like a tone that like, all right, I am now done churning or gurgling with watery noises or anything like that. You are free to begin streaming. So I was giving it a safety thing, but I was also kind of thinking like, all right, we're getting close to time to go. And just as I was thinking those wonderful thoughts, I was like, oh, feels like this is kind of crass terminology. I'm sure there's a technical term for it, but they're eye boogers, right? The little like crusties that you have in the corner of your eye sometimes. Well, I felt like one of those, and I was like, oh, I don't want to have that bugging me while I'm recording. So let me get in there, and I like went to get whatever crusty eyelash, whatever it was, out of the corner of my eye, and it was rookie mistake. As bad as trying to drag a ghast through a portal that isn't big enough to accommodate him. I knew the millisecond it happened what I'd done, and I was so stupid for doing it. And I try to be careful about that. And I try to wash up very carefully after. But I had somehow missed the side of my finger. I don't know, but there was enough pepper oil on there, and if anybody has done it, you know. And I'd done it once before, back when I was in that summer college or high school job age. We used to sell some peppers through these stands. We'd have some all kinds of little produce. So if you're stopping for corn and needed this, you could get it, and it would be high quality stuff. Not definitely a step above what you're getting out of the grocery store. So we had peppers and things that we'd put out there too, and we knew. And one time I'd learned the hard way and had been stocking the shelves, putting some peppers out for display, and had touched an eye, and that was worse because I had to cross a parking lot to get. There was a bank building close by. We were kind of in like their parking lot. Malls, like there will be like the main parking area for the mall itself, and then they'll have outbuildings at the mall, and then like in and amongst all those outbuildings, they'll have like the little almost forgotten parts of the parking lot where whoever designs parking lots must like get a kick out of making incoherent designs, because there will be like these little like offshoots of parking spots that aren't convenient to get into or out of anything, and that was where they set us up with our little greenhouse and corn stand, because nobody ever drove through there. Nobody would park there because it was way out of the way, and so nobody really lost, or was inconvenienced by it, and it was a big draw. But we were kind of on the other side of the main like entrance exit and the front of the bank, and we were pretty welcome in the bank. Like, the people were nice there and everything. They welcomed us, but it was one of those where the owner guy was like, "Look, don't abuse that, right? You guys can go in there and use their bathroom and stuff if you need to, but they're not here to provide bathroom services for a bunch of people that are wearing like, sweaty polo shirts and have been moving plants and stuff around all day. So just, keep it to a minimum." And, beyond that, I was a kid, relatively a young man, but a kid. And, I was like, oh yeah, you don't want to go in there. Well, much further down, like 250 yards down in a larger offshoot building from the main mall, or maybe just like a no direct entrance, there was a Subway and a couple other little business. I think they had like a haircut, like a Great Clips or something like that. And a couple others, all in a row. And Subway was the place where we'd stop. We could go, like get a soda or whatever, and over the course of these summers, you'd get to know the people that worked in there, like, hey, yeah, you can bring in your soda cup or whatever and fill it up, or fill up your water. We had water bottles and stuff like that. So yeah, if you were, I'd never really been way back, I was a huge Subway fan, but really hadn't been in years at that point. But yeah, they'd let us come in and fill our water or use the bathroom. It was just more our pace. So there I am, I'm stumbling. And, this is like, the whole point was you don't overstaff these things because you don't make a ton of money at them anyway. So having myself, a lot of school teachers would man smaller stands throughout the midsummer months. Because I was working from basically Mother's Day through Labor Day, I would be kind of the guy, and I'd do everything from helping to put up the greenhouse to taking down the pumpkin piles that kids could throw their babies, or parents could throw their babies on and take pictures of them and all that kind of stuff. So I got all the stuff, but the whole point is, you don't have a big staff. You got to be there and be accountable the whole day, and in my case, most of the whole summer. There wasn't a lot of backup or overlap on the weekdays. On weekends and stuff, we'd have a whole bunch of his kids and the neighbor's kids and everybody. Anybody that you could come and not pay a whole lot. You're welcome. Come on in and do some work. Um, so it was fun, but yeah, there I am solo. I didn't even grab for the cash envelope thing that was securely stashed under like a burlap sack behind the wall of the thing. I just hand to the face and ran, cross traffic and all that. And by the time I'm bursting through the door, my nose is running. I couldn't see anything. It was like, oh. So this afternoon, I felt that same feeling, and I was like, oh, I just did this. And you see all the we've all seen the riots and or civil unrest around the world. People out in the streets, they get tear gassed, and now it's become such a deal that you see either volunteer people or the people themselves that are protesting, bringing along jugs of milk to help deal with it. And so it it's burning, and at first, if you just when you instinctively squint your eyes shut, um, it doesn't feel too bad. It's only when you try to look out and like I don't know, the air interacts with it or whatever, that it really burns. And for a while there, your brain is like, okay, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool. But are you ever going to want to see again? Like, how are we going to deal with this? And my first thought was, I've gotta rinse my fingers off again. So I'm kind of frantically scrubbing my hands as I worry that, well, not that I worry, as the trick my brain is playing that, no, this doesn't burn at all when your eyes closed, is beginning to fade. And it's like, oh, was it actually something pokey and not pepper oil at all? And I just like put a shard of glass that somehow got on the my eyelid into my eyeball or something, because it was just full on pain at that point. It wasn't. It was the pepper oil stuff. But so yeah, I scrubbed up my hand, and then like with water tried to like rub a finger, and I'm at the kitchen sink. There's no way I'm like eye bathing myself, but I tried to kind of rinse it. And then I'm thinking, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking like, it's pepper oil. The whole problem with it, and the reason why it did exactly what I did like an hour and a half after I'd cut the peppers, is that it doesn't really evaporate, and it kind of adheres to whatever surface. So as I'm washing my fingers and then rubbing my eye, I'm like, this may be a bad idea. I may just be making it worse. So I was, real conscious that none of the water run over to the other side of my nose to get the other eye or anything like that. Had to be extra cautious. But it didn't really help at all. The water's in there now. My eye's burning, and I've like, kind of made it much more exposed. So now it's just like, yeah, whatever. It hurts. Thank you. I still need seeds for those guys. In fact, maybe able to do that with the hoe. Because I left those other ones inside twice now, because we went back and slept again. No. Oh, because I need, shears, is it, to get pumpkin seeds? Or I think I can just craft them, right? There we go. So, again, with memories of street uprisings and all that fresh in my mind, I bumbled my way to the refrigerator and grabbed out the carton of milk and was like, I'm not doing the street scene, dump the milk over my face. No, I'm not scrubbing, sour milk out of my kitchen for the next 2 years. Um, but I very carefully extracted like a wide-lipped short glass from one of my cabinets, filled that up with milk, and then got some paper towel and like just soaked the paper towel and held it onto my eye, and kind of tried to then force my eye open a little bit around it, as I'm worried that, like, do you really want to jam a paper towel into your eyeball? That doesn't sound smart. But it really did work. It still took a minute, but the milk really does interact with the carotenoids or whatever they are. What are the pepper parts of the pepper? I don't know. Whatever it was, it did stop, and wasn't too terribly long that was gone. But man, if you ever think like, oh, it's no big deal, the people that are out in the streets when the tear gas canisters go off, they're not really too bad. I like pepper. You have no idea, and that's concentrated stuff, so it's not just touching pepper into your eye like I did. It's full on, and I even felt it. Like at one point I had to like take the milky paper towel and wipe my nose because it was just straight up flowing like a rain gutter. Yeah, your body doesn't want to react well to those. So I felt pretty silly, and that totally threw off my expectation because I really, I was like, okay, well, yeah, getting kind of into that early afternoon time, about the time that I set up to stream yesterday, record, that stuff. So we have done almost nothing in terms of repairing our tools. In fact, we did nothing when we fed, did we? But the good news, if we can actually switch them, is we should probably be able to feed our cows again. Um, but we've gathered a lot of stuff. And I've told my story about the pepper in my eye. So the moral of the story is, if you're ever cutting peppers and you think you've washed your hands, and there's the slightest possibility, for one thing, don't touch your eyes. I only sat there and did it because I was like, oh, I just came from the kitchen before I was playing, and did that. And if I'd been thinking more, it's probably because I'd cut them and then am also cooking with the peppers, and there's probably just enough of that in the air that my eye was irritated from it. Probably, it was probably nothing more than that. But like a fool, I thought I could make it better. So don't do that. But anytime you're working with peppers in the kitchen, scrub, 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 and then scrub some more, and then wonder if you scrubbed enough and do it again, because you cannot be overcautious in getting that stuff off your skin. And that, that's a good lesson in, when we're all talking about COVID and wash your hands and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure, having talked about all this kind of stuff, Minecraft will be sure to do the old wash your hands splash screen for us here in the next couple episodes. But yeah, in terms of like, if pepper oil can survive what I thought was a thorough hand washing and then get another one, what does that tell you about all the germs and stuff that are out there? So don't stop using the sanitizer. I see so many people now. It's like, oh, what sanitizer? I mean, we spent a year where nobody could get enough of that kind of stuff, and now it's like, oh yeah, I don't need that anymore because I got a shot. Well, it still really helps on a lot of other stuff. So keep it up. Anyway, that was not the intent. The intent was my day just went topsy-turvy on me, totally unexpectedly. And I wasn't done yet, because now it's like 1 o'clock-ish, something. I don't know. I wasn't really locked in on the time. I was like, okay, well, this is the right kind of time. I can get this episode done, because I was thinking, yeah, we'll just, fix those portals and pull the gas through and be all good. right about that time was when I noticed that the YouTube that I'd been watching as I was playing a game was now spinning at an hourglass. And yeah, I had a couple, well, I don't know how long it was, but I had a couple hours of internet outage. And, at first it was just my laptop, and I kind of checked my phone and everything was still showing it. But then eventually the other devices started showing a no Wi-Fi deal. So I'd given it a pretty good while because I typically have pretty reliable service. This is twice now this spring that I've had kind of an issue briefly, but usually if anything does happen, 15, 20 minutes is all you need, and it's back. And so I kind of waited that, and it still wasn't there. And I went and checked my other devices, no signal. I'm like, oh man, this is not good. So I power cycled my network gear just to make sure that everything was back up, and it still hadn't come back up. And then, like, I don't know, 3 hours later or so, I was getting up to stir the lentil green chili chicken concoction, and it's like, well, maybe I should close and relaunch my Wi-Fi on my laptop again just to check. And sure enough, then it pops up like, oh yeah, you're all good. Like, I hate it when laptop or whatever just stops trying, I guess, and just decides like, yeah, well, whether or not it's as good as it's gonna get now. Let's leave these. Let's go over to the. I don't know why I came back outside. Let's go back over to the lodge, do our trades, fix these two, get more emeralds. That's what we've been working towards here, and then get back to our mission of buttons and ghasts. And as I've said, I'm ready now because I kind of cleared the deck. I was getting done all kinds of little puttery stuff. It's not currently raining, and I meant to say at the very beginning of this episode, I apologize for not apologizing in advance. I got my door open. It was raining when I started. I don't hear the pitter patter anymore, and I'd pulled it just enough to not have much glare. But maybe you guys are hearing the robins out there chirping, or if you catch an occasional car going by or something like that. I apologize, but it's too nice and cool not to. So that's how we're rolling in. We'll have some novel sound effects in the background. But yeah, that being what it is, we are now kind of good. I've got another 2 hours or so until dinner's ready, and then I'll probably take a break. But if we do a couple more episodes and haven't gotten our gas done yet, well, maybe after that I'll come back and do some more, because I'd really like to get that knocked out and be free and, clear for some fresh content. And the Crimson Stems is a bit of a toss up to that. I mean, it's one of the things we'd hope to do shortly after, but is what it is. Okay, get through. Carrot guy. No, you're a potato guy, though. You got potatoes. Alright, I just had to every time. Had to double check in my eye that the pick was in my left hand there behind the window. Alright, well, that's him. Yeah, carrots. Good. So we'll do most of this volume without really getting the picks to move too much, and then we'll get to the melons and pumpkins, and it should take care of everything pretty fast. Ooh. Oh. Oh. What? Ah! I should also check over here. Get all this stuff. Get all these. Many as we can. Alright, where were you, sale guy? I don't know if that equates to like an extra stack of desire. Can we call it potato desire? Before he stops accepting potato trades. I don't know. That's trouble. We don't really need any of those. I can't do that. Okay. Did we get it all then? No. Now you're fed up with potatoes. It's probably the only potato guys, too. Here's some of this. So yeah, I had an unexpectedly kind of topsy-turvy day. Some good progress stuff relates to all of you guys and previously talked about plans. In the midst of all that, I got a chance, one, to dump all the uploaded videos that since like mid-May that I still had on my laptop. Those all got dumped off to external storage, which gives me like 350 free gigs in my in my laptop, and that's not a bad thing. And in addition, we have made a bit of cleaning progress in the office because I continue to be setting up for that. As I think mentioned in one of the previous videos, I do now have a unopened but sitting in its shipping envelope, I presume to be 15 button streaming console. So that is exciting for me. I still don't have the device to plug it into, aka my PC, but fingers crossed. We're still kind of right at that timeline that we had been working on. And I was the one that kind of told the shop owner, I said, don't feel like you have to give me updates if there's no news. Like it's not going to change anything to me day to day. So don't feel like you have to, set up, oh, I haven't talked to this guy in a couple of days. He's probably freaking out. I specifically told him, don't worry about doing that because you've got other stuff to do, I'm sure. And it'll get done when it gets done. Don't just intentionally start on new projects or who am I to talk when it comes to Minecraft new projects? But you know what I mean. He knew what I meant. That if it went into this next week and he was still just waiting on the correct motherboard part to replace on it, he was fine with me to just go ahead and do that and let me know when it got close, as long as there weren't going to be dramatic changes in the process or plan or what was being worked. Oh man, how much of that did I waste? Oh, so much fun to just be trading the big melons. They get so happy and they want to give us all their emeralds, and it's wonderful. We're building towards our next beacon. Knew you were out there somewhere, Mr. Guy. Oh, see how little we got there? Okay, now I just gotta find the ones that weren't previously on sale. Maybe they will be, but even if they aren't, we just need to... Uh-oh. All our pumpkins? think we did a good job of emptying those boxes. Do we have any more? Nope. That's it. All she wrote. Well, another oops on my part, but we got pretty well. We'll go back and process the cows when we get back. They should be ready for another feeding. We'll do that, harvest, and then we should be good to go. So, yeah, my day has been chaotic and topsy-turvy, but yeah, got everything safely moved off, and I moved off to a new external drive. And I think we talked about this a little bit when the last time I'd done it, and I kind of asked, do people use cloud storage? What do you guys use, if anything, when you're uploading videos and things like that? And effectively they're just taking up space on your computer. Do you have a specific system for that? I have always used, this isn't what I want to do, man. Why are there two of you? Shoot him. Haha. You guys do that. That was ill-timed. Hey, let's see outside. I was going to go grab just as many seeds as I could, but I went to the chicken side instead of the crops area. Yeah, I knew you were around somewhere. Where'd you go? There you are. And I get his bow. And the arrows and the bones and everything else. Alright, little chickens. Whole bunch of baby chickens. So yeah, this will probably wrap up this episode. I don't think I'm going to do a thumbnail or anything like that. We'll see what YouTube comes up with out of it. I did, from the near death episode, I did finally kind of come up with playing and then taking the screenshots from my wireless keyboard on my laptop, which is like three degrees of separation from what should be the simple process of screen capping your desktop. So I got that, if needed, or because even when YouTube selects a random thumbnail, there's actually 3 images that it pulls behind the scenes, and it says, all right, here you go, and you can pick between those, and you can still, after the video is up, you can go back and modify out a screenshot if you want to. So if I really found that I had goofed or there was something that absolutely needed to be done, I could go back in, pull that video, and then display it or use it after the fact, just to allocate it as the thumbnail for the thing. As long as it's the right size and everything, it works out great. So we were going to harvest. Let's put that away. Didn't I have just that bow? Oh. It's a little bit more pick health. Every little bit, chat. Chat. You guys mind if I call you chat? You're not technically a chat yet, but it's kind of how I think of, a lot of people say when you get started recording, just pretend like you're talking to a friend or something like that in the room in the background as you're playing the game. Because a lot of people just go silent, right? And you don't end up with any commentary, and that's not ideal. And it can be tough for people to get, sounds silly when I listen back to it, and some of you guys have been way too kind, with your very nice feedback on the commentary and stuff. I really do appreciate it. It makes a huge difference because it is. Um, it's a little intimidating to be like, what am I going to talk about for an hour? And as you hear, you back up, you start over, you rehash things a few times, and sometimes you say more ums and ahs than you would have ever thought were possible. But that's just your brain trying to keep up and keep a constant flow coming at you. Now, I don't know why I felt the need to do that, because we're just going to go back in and want to get out when we're done. Okay, here it is, the climactic get rid of the cows. If you're squeamish, look away. We'll be wrapping up here shortly. We should have our pick back up and running now by the time we're done. So, what's coming up on our next episodes of Hambbage Plays Minecraft? Well, I think we will take a side trip in the Nether when we get back and go for some of the Crimson Stems. I really get sick of getting knocked off the boat when we've got a Nether highway and we're just getting wrecked by lava slimes. So we'll deal with that with some buttons. It may be an episode, but it should be a pretty fun one, right? Because we'll be running around. There'll be piglins coming after us and hoglins out there as well. So, oh, look, I didn't even need the wheat because they were cooperative. All right, almost good on that pick. Oh, some of our buddies. Maybe we're not quite done with this episode yet. Maybe we'll pummelerate them too. All right. Come on. It's weird. So relatively few chickens that I'm used to just, like standing and turning in a circle because there are literally hundreds of them. All right, that looks like a full brood. So we got happy chickens, we got happy ducks. The chickens do not do nearly as much for us in terms of XP, but we got decent durability back on our tools. Again, if I had switched that out in a more timely manner, we would be really well set. Alright, so we'll leave those. I can bring those back downstairs. We'll cook another stack of beef to have ready. Got all kinds of crazy sounds going on outside. And I don't know how well those come through. I think one of those is a northern flicker. That sound. Oh, that was good to have. Alright, very good. Now, do I still have these? We've got boxes up here. So let's put you two away. I hear you. Did you take a number, sir? We're coming. We're coming for you. Alright. Top that off. That there. These here. These get picked up. Alright, let's go do a little bit of neighborhood watch. And then probably we're gonna milk our face just like I milked my eye after we get this banner. Any more of them? I can't. That bird sound, that I can't whistle or make bird sounds at all, so I apologize. Um, but the repeated little trill kind of one out there. Why are those? That is so weird. Is that like a versioning thing, do you think? Huh. Mystery to be forgotten about and then revisited someday in the future. If we think about it, let's try to hang those side by side and see if we can recognize any difference. More than likely, though, when the 117 came out, they just like changed a name so that even though they may not have changed in appearance or anything at all, the game treats them as two different entities, and that's why they can't stack together. That's my guess. Nothing to back that up, but we're not going to spend a whole lot of time sciencing that. Okay. We got our axe, we've got our hoe, we've got multiple picks, and we actually don't want that there. So let's once more do our toolbox. I don't know how they're always in different order. No matter how I put them in and out. Okay. So even though that one's worn, it's pretty ready to go. Our tools are reset. The last thing that the whole point of this episode, how much time do we got, was, oh man, we're so long already, to get some supplies to build up our portals out there. And I don't know exactly what the best answers to all that would be. But let's just try to get a few different options. So maybe some wood. I think we'll bring oak because we're getting low. Let's bring stone. I think stone is worthy of a whole box because we now have those stairs. And you can always do good stuff with stone. And I'm not planning on crazy building when we get out there. All I really am looking to do is make some large enough platforms and possibly containment that the ghast can get through and we can hold him, or at least keep him from tearing off in an opposite direction for the amount of time it takes us to kill him. And then be on about our business. Anybody remember how many we needed? One less. Oh no, we were perfect. All right, look at that. And did we still had room in the wood box? So not knowing if we'll need it or not, let's just pull the scaffolding that we do have with us. Okay, so we've got some glass, we've got some stone, we've got a little bit of wood. I think we're set to hopefully get this all set up. Oh, and then we need a bunch of obsidian. And what all did we leave in here? Nothing. We got it. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I apologize for that. Let's just run back to the base real quick and get a couple things, and then we end up out there. But I think this will work out well. At least 2 more episodes I would count on myself recording this evening. The next one, Crimson Forest in the Nether, gathering up, saying that. No! Bad torch. That being what it is, let's put all these away. We don't need any of that stuff at the moment. Oh, can we... Because we want to be equipped for a gathering trip. So we can put those in there. And then let's just grab a couple lime shulkers for putting stuff in. Okay, now we're good. Let's get out before I think of anything else we should be doing. Let's get the thank you up here. Guys, we're gonna wrap this one up quick. Take a break if you'd like. I'm gonna get up, stir my concoction, and maybe see if it's still dripping outside. But it'll be a pretty quick break for me too. And then we'll be back at it. So look forward to seeing you guys around for more. Please do like, comment, subscribe to keep current on all the rest. But it really is the comments that I enjoy when you guys share your thoughts or if you got similar stories. So for today, have you ever made the horrible mistake of touching an eye or anywhere close to it when you've got pepper juice on a finger? Let me know your funny stories, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.